J01 goes diving in there. Look at the ball recovery time, which speaks volumes of the work being done by Borussia Dortmund to win the ball back quickly. Not letting St. Pauli settle on the ball, but then that recovery time is expected given the styles of play that these two teams like to produce, Stefan.
Yeah, that's always good news for Borussia Dortmund if you think about the last few years. Win the ball early back, press high, or when you lose the ball, press straight away with players around the ball. And I think that's Niko Kovac's style too. Everyone has to work players around the ball, and I think that's Niko Kovac's style too. Everyone has to work hard when you lose.
Negri, amarillos de Latinoamérica. Aquí estamos una vez más, una jornada más con el Borussia Dortmund. Hoy no tengo video porque estoy haciendo prácticamente magia, ya que en estos momentos me encuentro en otro sitio y la transmisión la estoy haciendo vía remota. Y bueno, nada, voy a dejar el comentario, voy a ver el partido, si hay algo lo iré comentando. Pero nada, de momento una jornada más. Esperemos que este año sea mejor para nuestro equipo, para los negro amarillos. Hoy enfrentando de visita al St. Pauli. De momento sin goles. Niko Kovac todavía no da con la pieza. No sé si mi partner se vaya a unir. Esperemos que lo haga. De momento les voy a dejar con la transmisión en inglés, lastimosamente por hoy, y todas las estadísticas y todo lo que se va produciendo en pantalla. Como les digo, no estoy en mi sitio habitual, pero al menos logré colocar esto de manera remota.
A ground that has its own special charm. Everything simmering under the surface tonight so far. You feel like a goal would really further electrify the supporters in attendance. It is worth mentioning at the start of this 63rd Bundesliga season that the city of Hamburg once again has two top-tier clubs. St. Pauli, the representatives last season, now joined once again by the former Bundesliga Dinos, the former ever-present Hamburger SV. And while this is a highlight act on match day one, Stefan, the Hamburg derby next weekend at the Volksparkstadion was certainly a fixture to catch the eye as well.
Definitely, and it's so important for St. Pauli that if they don't lose today, to travel to the biggest rival in the same city, and that massive for everyone in Germany to have Hamburg or the HSV back in the Bundesliga after 7 years.
It's the first time in 14 years that Hamburg have had two Bundesliga teams. One city, two clubs, very different worlds. And I'm sure a spotlight will be put on that next weekend. Our focus tonight on St. Pauli. They are the alternative club in the port city, from the heart of the city.
I think, James, now you can see is a battle in the midfield. Lots of one against one. Working hard. St. Pauli strong, but Dortmund try their best to win the ball back. Lots of one against one. Not a British football so far, but enjoyable to watch.
Neat interplay. Joe Bellingham. Finding Zabitzer. Looking for Girassi!
¡Golazo de Guirassy de cabeza.
Borussia Dortmund are off the mark in the 25-26 season. And it's their red-hot striker.
Primer gol de la temporada para el Borussia Dortmund en la testa de Sergiu Guirassy.
In front of goal, but Borussia Dortmund have a precious lead.
And all came from Sabitzer. Then the final third, but now the first time Sabitzer is involved. The holding midfielder, perfect cross. And we spoke
Centro
about
de Sabitzer desde el extremo del área en la parte izquierda.
And today, again,
bien elevadito, Guirassy se eleva cual Jordan y cabecea a su primer palo.
Make that 16 goals in his last 16 games in all competitions.
Primera asistencia de la temporada también para Sabitzer.
In the 25-26 season, Sergiu Guirassy is just getting started. And an element of relief, I'm sure, mixed in with the emotions for Borussia Dortmund. Taking the lead 10 minutes before half-time. And in a game where
esperemos
the
que
qualities
esto
will really
despierte al equipo ahora.
Guirassy battles against Zigawa in the air and wins out. And that is now what makes the difference in the first Saturday evening showdown of the new Bundesliga season. Guirassy now ready to chip in on the defensive end for Dortmund. Delivery goes deep, doesn't find its mark, and Sabitzer sweeping clear. Well, you can vote for your man of the match, and one man does now stand out after netting the opening goal, Sergiu Guirassy. An early candidate here, but we've still got a long way to go. Use the QR code on your screen to get involved and have your say. Can't vote until the 86th minute, but now Guirassy looking to turn provider. Karim Adeyemi's on the run. Adeyemi goes down. Penalty.
Penal, penalazo.
Eric Smith, the captain, catching Adeyemi. Exploiting
Adeyemi con un recorte dentro del área y el defensa se lo lleva.
This time is Guirassy. Perfect pass
Criminal.
behind the defense.
El defensa del San Pauli.
Smith is not quick enough, and then he's a moment too late. And I think the first moment for me there is the contact. Not very heavy, but enough to go down. For me, understandable decision. I think hopefully we can see it here in the replay. Yeah, there's the contact. Right decision.
St. Pauli having dug in so well in the opening exchanges.
Now
facing the prospect of a double whammy here against Borussia Dortmund. One goal already for Sergiu Guirassy. Chance now to bag his brace. 4 penalties last season for Dortmund star striker. 3 converted, 1 missed in a 3-2 win against Hoffenheim in April.
Guirassy por el segundo, a la una,
Guirassy
a la dos,
Vazio.
salvo el portero, lo tiró a la izquierda y el portero se lo adivinó completito.
The man who provided the penalty shootout heroics in the DFB Pokal against Eintracht Norderstedt steps up in a big way for St. Pauli. Perhaps I shouldn't have mentioned Guirassy's penalty miss towards the back end of last season.
Yeah, and maybe we will talk about that penalty later if St. Pauli are coming back in the game. What a moment for Guirassy and for Borussia Dortmund.
He does so much hard work off the ball as well, Guirassy. It's not just his goal-scoring exploits that set him apart in black and yellow. St. Pauli now looking to muster up a response. Teasing delivery. Fujita first to the loose ball. Fujita turning the corner now. Acrobatic efforts. Not a clean connection. St. Pauli, though, have the bit between their teeth. The pressure being applied by the home side. The turn of the boys in brown to camp out in the opposition half. The retreat forced, though, by those in black and yellow.
Tactically, good moment, 5-3-2 from Borussia Dortmund if they have to defend. At the moment in midfield pressing, if their drop deep is the same.
Difficulty now for St. Pauli is that their goal-scoring issues are well documented. Coming from behind, so tricky. They're almost in behind there. And get the corner, though. Well, he went early, Vazil, but he gets right.
Exactly. Was sure that Guirassy will play the ball into this corner.
4 years with the club, 133 appearances and counting, including tonight. For Nicolas Vazil. Talked before the season started about repeating their feats from the previous campaign. Now the corner as they look for a way back into this clash with Borussia Dortmund.
Was offside. Tunji. But did you see the second time? They're looking for Hauke Wahl on the second post and set pieces and corners. Part of the match plan.
Brilliant pass out to Jan Kuto. Neat first touch as well. Given the challenge he was on the receiving end of at the end of their cup win on Monday night, almost a surprise to see him feature from the off and not pick up a serious injury. Studs up challenge at knee height in the latter stages of that game forced him to be stretchered off the pitch.
Yeah, that's definitely good news because Riasson is injured. And of course, happy to see him fit again.
Joe Bellingham. 2 for company. Bullied off the ball. Not many moments to really catch the eye in his Bundesliga debut tonight, Joe Bellingham.
Yeah, good
Something
point.
tells me there'll be many chances over the course of his career, though, Stefan.
Yeah, and good point, because St. Pauli are defending really well as a team, especially from the middle. But wait a moment.
And Tunji, he's in behind. He tried to get his body across Daniel Svensson. In the end, he lost his balance as a result, costing him the chance.
He tried to use Svensson's body to stay in front of him. And it didn't work. For me, not enough contact for maybe a penalty.
Minutes of time added on at the end of a very competitive first half here at the Milan Tour.
Yeah, not too many chances on both sides. Of course, St. Pauli came 3 times, and that's of course positive for the home side behind Borussia Dortmund's defense to create chances for the second half. Good idea to play ship balls behind. And Dortmund, of course, always dangerous with Guirassy up front and Adeyemi's pace.
This time it's a low pass in behind for St. Pauli that doesn't find its mark. 2 big moments in the first half for Guirassy. One to separate the sides, but then he came up against a man who has a bit of a reputation of saving spot kicks. Nicola Vasil saved 4 of 5 last season. Unflinching. His and Dortmund's second goal. That's it, Stefan. As you said, it hasn't been the prettiest game of football we necessarily expected it to be tonight. We knew this was going to be an intense battle between these two sides looking to make a winning start to the new season. That's exactly how it's transpiring.
Exactly. Lots of small fouls like that one. Lots of 1-against-1 in the midfield. Difficult for Dortmund to come behind the last line from St. Pauli. You have to work hard, you have to believe. And of course, St. Pauli are believing in their strength. Defensively good organized and hope to come or create chances, especially with long balls. And that's how it is to play here in Hamburg against St. Pauli.
Well, that fighting spirit, that united front, the never-say-die attitude was certainly one of the reasons they did boast the Bundesliga's second best defensive record last season, and also a key factor in them surviving upon their return to the big time. Perhaps the last chance of the first half here. They find no purchase in the final third, though. Tunji. Sam's just taking a touch too long to whip in the cross. No time to waste if they want one final chance in this first half. Comes to Oppi. Oppi again. Generous timekeeping here at the Milan Tour at the end of this first half. And Tunji's round the corner again.
Yeah, he looks good. Always running behind Benzebaini. Always creating the moment, maybe with crosses or a shot to come back in the game. And that's the way. Deep play, good movement from the three attacking players.
Now one final chance. The keys jangling from a corner, a great tradition in German football. Korbel plucking it out of the air under pressure. A hard-fought first half. And Borussia Dortmund, the favourites, have a narrow lead. They ground out to win in the DFB-Pokal on Monday night, with J01 getting the only goal of the game. And so far,
bueno,
his
señores,
goal separates the sides at the break here at the Millantor, though he did miss a penalty as well at the break. It's St. Pauli 0, Borussia Dortmund 1.
Okay, vamos.
As expected in the Thursday, Saturday evening, the 25-26 Bundesliga season, a real fight on offer between St. Pauli and Borussia Dortmund. A winning start to the new season at stake. And J01, one of the...
Bueno, vamos a bajarle un poquito aquí. Estamos algo complicados. Yo espero que se me esté escuchando bien con lo que estoy haciendo. Vamos a ver si puedo cambiar a una pantalla acá para ver cómo va la cosa. Ok, ahora sí se me está escuchando. Ahora sí. Bien. Disculpando los desprolijos si alguien me está escuchando. Como les digo, no estoy en mi sitio habitual donde puedo transmitir. Y aunque cueste creerlo, estoy haciendo todo esto un poco remoto. El cambio entre las pantallas es algo complicado y nada. Así está el juego de momento. St. Pauli 0, el Borussia Dortmund 1, con gol de Sergio Guirassy de cabeza, servido por Michael Sabitzer. Bueno, después del relajo del Mundial de Clubes, porque sinceramente para mí fue un verdadero relajo por parte de los jugadores, no se tomaron la competición en serio. Los dirigentes quizás sí querían que ellos se lo tomaran en serio por la necesidad de dinero, y tan mal están las finanzas que fíjense que en la ventana de fichajes solamente aparte de Svensson nos trajimos a Joe Bellingham. Parece que ahí se gastaron todos los reales, 36 millones de dólares. Porque la puja por Bellingham, que estaban teniendo varios equipos, de hecho el Manchester United se llegó a meter, pero al final Bellingham decidió de alguna manera seguir los pasos de su hermano. Esperemos que con el mismo éxito que ha tenido Jude. Y bueno, como pueden ver, un fichaje de un portero, Patrick Drews. Bueno, no sé a qué se debe este fichaje. Salió barato, dame $300,000 americanos procedentes del Bochum. ¿Será que quieren darle mata de café a nuestro Goyo Kobel? No lo creo. Pero bueno, fíjense que tan mal están las finanzas que estos fueron los fichajes en la ventana de verano. Esto nada más. Bueno, para ser bien justos, porque esto pertenece a la temporada pasada, 14 de mayo. Para ser bien justos, la ventana de verano, estos dos fichajes nada más tuvo el Dortmund. Eso sí, salió de muchísimos jugadores. Miren, de todos los jugadores que salió en la ventana de verano, contando desde aquí. Salió de Moukoko, salió de Gittens, que ya estaba haciendo un problema, salió de Koulibaly, salió de Lokta, salió de Liseswi, creo que este es de categorías inferiores, y salió de Ramak, salió de Haller, y para fortuna de algunos, yo no me cuento, el pobre Giovanni Reina es un incomprendido, pero pueden ver de todos los que ha salido el Dortmund. Eso sí, yo creo que si sumamos todo lo que está acá, bueno, a ver, 61 millones, ya esto cubre y sobra el fichaje de Bellingham, ¿ok? No sé qué está pasando con las finanzas del Dortmund, la verdad. Yo sé que la temporada pasada no fue lo que se esperaba. Niko Kovac logró remontar como pudo. Pero bueno, así está la cosa de momento. Clasificación parcial, todavía con partidos pendientes, ¿okay? Queda el partido del Mönchengladbach versus el Hamburgo y el Köln versus el Mainz. Todavía no se han disputado, creo que se disputan mañana, pero aquí está con parte de lo que tenemos hoy. Vamos a echarle un vistazo a lo que han sido los partidos, que esto comenzó desde el día de ayer. A ver, un momento. Claro. Disculpe. Vamos a buscar acá Bundesliga. Bien, aquí tenemos los partidos empezando desde el día de ayer. El campeón, el Pitbull, que no suelta, el Bayern Múnich o el Bayern München, 6-0 contra el pobre RB Leipzig. Pobrecito, vale. Si no me equivoco, fueron 3 de Kane, 1 de Luis Díaz, que se inauguró con su gol en la Bundesliga y en el Bayern München, y los otros 2 fueron de Olise. Hey, jugadorazo ese Olise, hay que tener mucho cuidado con ese chamo. Vamos a poner este audio porque me gusta. Vamos a ver si lo dejan. Ok, vamos a dejarlo aquí bien bajito. Vamos a dejarlo bien bajito acá. Bien, este fue el partido inaugural de la temporada. Una sandunga que le dio el Bayern München al Leipzig. Y tenemos los partidos de hoy ya finalizados. El Leverkusen perdiendo en casa con Hoffenheim. El Frankfurt metiéndole 4 al Verden. Heidenheim perdiendo en casa contra el Wolfsburg. El Freiburgo perdiendo en casa contra el Augsburgo. Esto está bastante raro, pero bueno. Unión Berlín ganando por la mínima contra el Stuttgart, y el partido que nos está ocupando en este momento y que nos ocupa a nosotros como fanáticos, seguidores, hinchas de nuestro Borussia Dortmund, del negro y amarillo, ganando nosotros de visitante. Sería 1, 2, 3, 4. Sería el cuarto partido en 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Más del 50% de los visitantes ganando. Para mañana, como les comenté, el Mainz frente al Colonia y el Mönchengladbach frente al Hamburgo. Y se cerraría con eso lo que sería la primera jornada. Vamos a ver un poquito las estadísticas de cómo va esto. Ahí tienen lo que han sido los disparos. Los disparos a puerta, ¿sí? 10-18, aquí comenzó en el 24 Guirassy. ¿Ok? En el 25 Pascal Gross. Guirassy con el gol al 34, como les dije. Fue un... A ver. A ver. Ok, aquí está. Disculpen lo desprolijo, señores. Estoy remoto y espero que esto esté saliendo bien. Pero bueno, desde acá, un centro de Savitzer, desde acá hasta acá donde estaba Guirassy. Guirassy se elevó cual Jordan, cual jugador de básquetbol, y con la testa la clavó a su primer palo. De hecho, ahí pueden ver la línea de cómo fue el balón. Otra vez Guirassy de penalti, pero mega detectado por el arquero. Parece que lo hubiesen soplado por donde la iba a tirar. Al 40 y al 40 otro del Saint Pauli. Aquí están la posesión. Fíjense que el tema de la posesión ha sido parejo porque el juego ha estado de ida y vuelta, pero con pocas amenazas claras. ¿Ok? Tan así que los goles esperados del Saint Pauli apenas es del 0,18. Ya tenemos imágenes de el estadio. Hoy a ver, estamos en el Millerton Stadium. Ahí está, en la ciudad de Hamburgo. Presentan las estadísticas en este momento de Guirassy. Un gol, 3 tiros en total, 3 tiros a puerta, 22 toques, 65% de los duelos ganados. Claro, es la figura, ¿okay? Es la figura del Dortmund. Raro esquema de Niko Kovac. Raro esquema. Vamos a verlo acá. Espero que, a ver, si lo pongo así, se puede ver. Raro esquema, 3-3-2-2. Aquí es donde nuestro querido partner, desaparecido en acción por los lados de Monterrey, pudiera ayudarnos un poco con la táctica de lo que es esta alineación que no creo haberla visto antes. Ya están los jugadores a punto de salir al campo. Ya vamos a estar otra vez con la pantalla del partido. Pero bueno, ahí se puede ver la formación. Adeyemi y Guirassy en punta. Evidentemente Couto y Svensson haciendo repliegues para la línea de 5. Savitzer junto a Bellingham y Gross haciendo el triángulo tanto de recuperación como de creación. Bellingham de hecho se estaba metiendo en algunos momentos bastante al extremo, ¿okay?, para darle apoyo a De yo creo que la idea no está del todo aceptada. Brandt parece que va a ingresar. Hay que ver por quién, porque se quitó la pechera. Ya va a empezar el segundo tiempo. Vámonos a la otra pantalla. Vamos a poner esta pantalla acá. Y vamos a subirle un poquito el audio. También se viene carne mechada, por lo visto. A ver. Sale de Jamie y entra Brandt. Y viene carne mechada por... No veo por quién va a entrar carne mechada. No pusieron... Bien, inicio de la segunda mitad.
Dortmund who get us back underway at the Milan Tour. They've had 10 straight wins on match day 1. So Bundesliga record, one that they would like to extend. Not since Karim Bellarabi scored the joint fastest goal in Bundesliga history to help Bayer Leverkusen to a 2-0 win in 2014. Have Dortmund failed to win on the opening weekend? And they had to dig deep in the first half, but they got a goal to separate the side. Seydou Guirassy opening his account for the new season, then followed it up by missing a penalty saved by Nicolas Vasil. And as a result, it is a narrow lead entering this second half for Borussia Dortmund. James Thorogood, your match commentator, delighted to have the pleasure of your company, as well as that of a man who twice won the Bundesliga with Borussia Dortmund back in the 90s, Stefan Freund. And we've got big expectations for the second half, Stefan, but we're expecting a similar level of fight to proceedings.
Definitely, St. Pauli at home, you have to work hard first. And for Borussia Dortmund, will be good to use the 1-0 advantage, maybe have a little bit more possession with Julian Brandt now on the pitch with Mecha. It looks like that Mecha and Sabitzer are both together playing in front of the back three to be solid and give St. Pauli no opportunity to come back in the game.
Yeah, Dortmund had to grind out there tonight as the goal scored by Guirassy has come a little bit earlier. It was in the 79th minute he scored on Monday. Here he is from Gross with the flick on. And a chance brewing here for Borussia Dortmund. Brandt edge of the area. And what a save that is from Nicolas Vasil. Guirassy was a star in the first half, but the St. Pauli keeper was too. And that's an eye-catching save to deny Brandt.
Perfect football from Borussia Dortmund. Using Guirassy to keep the ball and then bring, with that pass from Svensson, Julian Brandt in position, and he has the quality to score from there.
Almost an immediate impact. A positive start to the second half would have been wanted from Niko Kovac. His words ringing in the ears of these Dortmund players. Doubt they would have all been positive, despite the lead. Svensson with the corner now. Attacked well by Anton, he didn't get there. Look at the head-to-head record between these two sides. Dortmund unbeaten in 12 against St. Pauli, 11 wins, 1 draw. They've won the last 4 meetings. When it comes to St. Pauli's last win against Borussia Dortmund, you have to go back to November of 1989. Options on the bench for both sides. 2 already called upon from Borussia Dortmund head coach Niko Kovac, and it's fair to say Dortmund have a little bit more quality in their backup ranks than St. Pauli do. Mecha and Brandt have already entered the fray. Karim Adeyemi and Joe Bellingham making way. Dortmund's ranks have certainly been thinned by injuries. Certainly at the back, Emre Can out with an adductor injury. Schlotterbeck, torn meniscus. Risky back pass to Korbel, who just about deals with the danger. Meanwhile, Niklas Süle, he picked up that calf injury in the pre-season friendly against Juventus. And defending to do for Dortmund here, and a chance! Oh. St. Pauli a level! Ontonji gets the first goal of the new season. And a side that struggled for goals in the previous campaign have come from behind here against Dortmund to level the scores with their first sight of goal of the second half. The Millantor erupts. It's party time in the port city, but there's still a long way to go in this Saturday evening showdown.
And it came after good pressing. Svensson slips, can't clear the situation. Purka is straight tight, wins the 1-against-1. And then, of course, Sinani can chip the ball to Ontonji, and Mane is too late. Perfect time header like Girassi first half.
And at the same end of the pitch as well.
Centro al punto penal y
Ontonji. One delivered
cabecea y la manda segundo palo.
The man signed from St. Truiden. And look at what it means to Alexander Blessin. He was a striker in his playing days. He knows how important it is to build confidence in front of goal. 11 blanks that St. Pauli produced here on home soil last season. Not on match day 1, not against Borussia Dortmund. And Andres Ontonji leaving a lasting and very impressive first impression.
Perfect start for St. Pauli second half. Score a goal. We spoke about that they struggled to create chances, and now they are back in the game. After very good pressing, winning the ball early, and then maybe Dortmund was for a moment unorganized, and it's 1-1.
Creo que quien pierde la marca fue Mané.
We're really able to isolate Filippo Mané, the young Italian centre-back who is stepping in the absence of Schlotterbeck and Süle.
Del que están hablando ahorita,
needed to be stronger in the air there against his more experienced counterpart.
Mira, fue el otro cambio fue Carnamechá por Job Bellingham. Pregúntenme.
Something for Kovac to consider as well. 2 changes made at half-time. Now his side find themselves level at 1-1 against St. Pauli. Benzabaini to Anton. What will the response be from those in black and yellow? Ontonji brought in on loan from Premier League side Burnley. still on his Bundesliga debut. And now confidence in the St. Pauli ranks. There's the record signing, Joel Fujita, brought in from the Belgian side St. Truiden. Marshalling the midfield for St. Pauli. Might not have caught the eye as much as Andres Montonji. Still, a key performance in setting the stall for St. Pauli in terms of the fight that they are taking to Borussia Dortmund. And Louis Oppi, the man brought in from Bielefeld, doing the same thing. He's caught the eye, and not just because of that blonde hairstyle of his. Brandt loses out in the 50-50, but Sabitzer wins it back for Dortmund. That ball recovery time still quite short for the visitors. But again, they're keeping the line so tight. They are remaining so defensively disciplined. St. Pauli, another moment where Dortmund are forced to play the ball backwards because there just simply is no avenue forward.
Exactly, and it's a good example. Now look at 5 Dortmund players against 1, 2, 3. And of course they're passing the ball, they have possession, but they're not coming behind the last line, or they're not even coming into the midfield.
Niko Kovac, the Dortmund head coach, said it was hard to know where Dortmund stand after what was a unique pre-season, the Club World Cup, eating into the summer months. Dortmund getting knocked out in the quarter-finals against Real Madrid in that particular competition stateside. I'm not sure we got a better idea of where Dortmund are after the 1-0 win against Rot-Weiss Essen on Monday night at the Stadion an der Haff. Not sure we got a better idea of where Dortmund are after the 1-0 win against Rot-Weiss Essen on Monday night at the Stadion an der Hafenstraße. And perhaps now in the second half, more questions brewing in the BVB ranks. Perhaps more questions than answers. Another long vertical pass. Forces Mane to give chase and had a little nibble there against Pereira Lage. A lot of hard work off the ball for Matthias Pereira Lage. The headline's being stolen so far by his strike partner. Montonji. No space to turn. Chance still alive here. The cross from Haukeval, just slicing behind onto the roof of the net.
I'm sure now Niko Kovac is disappointed to give St. Pauli the equalizer. Here again, perfect cross from Sinani. After fantastic pressing or individual mistake from Svensson. That's how it is sometimes, and I'm sure he's disappointed because the 1-0 helps Borussia Dortmund to maybe create the second one, and now they're level and St. Pauli are growing and have more confidence.
A melting pot of emotions at the Milan Tour, and some of those emotions on full display. The full spectrum of them as well. That full spectrum that only the beautiful game can deliver, but now Dortmund almost played themselves into real trouble at the back. Composure being lost a little by a side who were underwhelming in the cup. Mecha just about recovered the situation there, Stefan.
Yeah, strong physically presence, but I think that's a little bit too much risk now. After the equalizer, you have to realize sometimes it's better to play a long ball.
Danger brewing for Dortmund if they don't heed the warnings. Guirassy chasing a lost cause there for the most part. Eric Schmidt, aware that Guirassy was on his blind side there, but now again looks to pierce all the lines with a long ball forward. Anton leaving his mark on another St. Pauli player.
Pereira larges afterwards. And of course he's not happy. He thinks that's a foul.
Well, when you look back to last 5 home games upon their return to the Bundesliga, this season they have opened their account at the first time of asking, thanks to that man there, Andres Ontonji. And they only scored 2 headers all of last season, St. Pauli, so a collector's item here for their summer signing.
Yeah, physically strong, like Ilavugi. I lost him to Lens, but what a start for him. New signing, scoring a goal against Borussia Dortmund, strong in the air. And we spoke about Borussia Dortmund's defense. Mane is doing a good job, but of course they miss Emre Can, Süle and Schlotterbeck.
Yeah, leading figures in that back line, whose influence sorely missed. Pereira Lage is back on the pitch for the boys in brown. An hour played at the Milan Tour. Match day 1, always one to get the pulses racing. Tonight, though, a special atmosphere at the Milan Tour. A special highlight opponent as well. And the game right now in the first ever Saturday evening showdown of the new season, perfectly poised as we breach the final half an hour. We haven't had a draw yet on match day 1 in Germany's top flight. Coolly played by Dortmund, but Guirassy can't bring the ball under his spell. Crowded out there. Mecha penalised for clipping Hauke Wahl.
Yeah, there's the contact.
Baying fans behind Gregor Kobel's goal. They'll do everything they can to generate some sort of magnetic effect to try and suck the ball towards goal. More quality needed in the dead ball situation there for the home side. And Daniel Sinani with the delivery. Route 1 football there from Borussia Dortmund. Couto picks up the pieces. Guirassy a bit of a flap of the arms in the box. He wanted the cross to come earlier. Wilson's flick doesn't work out. So take a look at the match statistics, and St. Pauli really digging in deep, working hard as we expected of them. Distance covered, just edging Dortmund in that regard. And they'll be happy to let Dortmund have more of the ball, Stefan, as long as they make a lot out of a little, like a certain Mr. Andres Ontunji did.
Definitely, that's part of the match plan. Give them the ball, drop a little bit deeper, and then play straight away long balls, or see Nani into his feet, and then you go for the second ball. And I think that's perfect so far for St. Pauli, and that's why it was so important to score the equalizer quickly after the break.
Gross does well to retain possession. High press here from Dortmund. St. Pauli find the outlet.
Diría mi partner, no hay medio campo. No hay medio campo. Tarjeta amarilla para John Couto. No sé en qué consiste el trabajo de, en este caso, Carnemechada, Savitzer y
I think there was contact with the ball too. You're 100% right. The yellow card came, didn't stop to talk to the referee.
You can understand from that replay why he pled his case, Stefan.
Es Benson, Savitzer y Couto. Es que hay 5 mediocampistas, pero no veo ninguno. La línea defensiva, la línea de centrales de Bensebaini, Anton y Mané bastante adelantada en ciertos momentos. Colocada en 3/4 de cancha rival. Ay, Dios mío. Otra vez Ontunji echando vaina. No hay nadie que pare ese tipo, ¿vale?
Creating the moments for St. Pauli. Straight, direct finish. Good football from St. Pauli.
Nice bit of combination play. Jan Couto had run himself into a bit of a dark
Todo el
corridor
ataque
there,
de
but he got away
St.
with
Pauli por la derecha.
it. Look at the attacking zones for St. Pauli, and as evidenced by what we just
46%
saw,
del ataque del St.
plenty of
Pauli es por la
replay
derecha.
providing the threat.
Es decir, por la zona donde está Svensson y Bensebaini.
That right wing in particular.
Muy poco por el centro. 25% apenas por el centro, y por la por la derecha tienen el 46, por la izquierda tienen el 29, por el centro tienen 25.
They need to conjure up something. Man over in Pascal Gross. Again, they're forced backwards. That's neat though from Svensson. Anton Tida!
¡Golazo! ¡Coño, qué gol, vale! ¡Bonito gol, vale!
From an unlikely source.
Valdemar Anton. Imagínense, un central tiene que hacer el gol. Un central tiene que hacer el gol. ¿Ah? Un central tiene que hacer el gol. Pero fue una combinación bonita de toques. Centro que bajó Pascal Gross. De Gross va Svensson. Svensson a Gross. Da taco a Svensson. Svensson a Carnemechada. Y Carnemechada a Valdemar Anton, que la clava a segundo palo.
Well, this is a finish that a seasoned striker would be proud of. It does take a flick on its way through.
Exactly. It makes it even more difficult for Vasil to save the ball.
Well, those are sometimes the fine margins that can prove so decisive over the course of a football match. And Alexander Blessin there, the St. Pauli head coach, he knows it. Such a positive start to this second half from his side. Dortmund have barely posed a threat, but now they're back in front thanks to Valdemar Anton. He got 3 goals in his debut campaign as a Borussia Dortmund player, having signed from Stuttgart. Valdemar Anton. 2 of those 3 scored in the Bundesliga. 1 came in a 2-2 draw with Bayern. 1 came in a 3-2 win against Hoffenheim. He made it clear when he joined the club that his ambition was to fight for titles. Dortmund ended last season with title-winning form. And even if they aren't producing their most aesthetically pleasing performance, if they can maintain that winning form.
Recuerden que les había comentado que la línea defensiva, la línea de los centrales, estaba bastante adelantada. Fíjense que estaba tan adelantada que fue un central el que metió el gol.
As a former player, I know in the beginning of the season, you don't know where you are and you keep the points. You don't have to perform like Bayern Munich yesterday against Leipzig. For Dortmund at the moment, it's the most important to win games.
And the St. Pauli goal scorer, Andres Montonji, brought off on in his place Abdoulaye Cissé, the young Gambian striker. Seven appearances last season for Cissé in the Bundesliga, but none as a starter. Looking to make the impact off the bench here. And he joined the club back in the winter break last season.
And he's playing the same position, number 9, than Montunji.
He won the header there. Cissé, but a flick on into no man's land, straight to Gregor Kobel. And this is the difficulty now for St. Pauli. 20 minutes of normal time remaining. Even though they're here on home soil, the iconic Milan tour that brings its special brand of passion to proceedings. This is a side that have really struggled for goals last season and in the current campaign as well, when you consider they drew a blank against a 4-tier side in the first round of the DFB Pokal. Go back to last season, only in 8 of their 34 Bundesliga matches did they manage to score more than once in a single game, but that's what they need to do if they want to rescue a share of the spoils here.
And they have to increase the risk, maybe the last 10 minutes, and then that will open up spaces for Borussia Dortmund in transition.
Arminia Bielefeld, the only other side to have ever survived a Bundesliga campaign despite scoring less than 30 goals, the same way St. Pauli did last season. They set or equaled, I should say, a Bundesliga negative record as well, with their 11 blanks here on home soil. St. Pauli, that was a feat that only Tasmania Berlin had achieved, and they've got notoriety in German football circles for all the wrong reasons, for the historically terrible campaign back in the 1965-66 season. Not exactly a club you want to be linked with statistically if you are St. Pauli. There is a lot of talk about second season syndrome. Statistics suggest that there's a bit more of a myth than the way it's talked about. In a second season, so important to get off on the right foot in the new campaign. Alexander Blessin has talked about the fact that he believes the first couple of matches are still part of the preparations for a season, but St. Pauli don't have time to waste, and the opening fixtures aren't exactly kind to them either, when you consider the fact that they have started the season here on home soil against Dortmund. Next weekend, it's the Hamburg derby on foreign soil, a huge highlight match of massive importance in the city of Hamburg as well. And after that, they've got games against the cup winners Stuttgart. They've got Bayer Leverkusen as well in the opening 5. The fixture makers not exactly favouring St. Pauli in the early stages of the season. Mecha, that was a neat touch into space. Flitting between the lines, but losing out. Anton dealing with the danger. Fun fact about Waldemar Anton: all 3 of his Bundesliga goals scored for Borussia Dortmund have come on foreign soil. Brandt!
¡Oh! ¡Golazo! Coño, Brandt, por fin hiciste algo, hijo.
But it's magic at the end of it from Julian Brandt. The touch, the finish. It's 3-1 Dortmund.
Coño, vale, Brandt. No recuerdo cuándo fue la última vez.
What a moment for Julian Brandt.
Que Julian Brandt
is happy now. And let's see the replay. Looks a little bit for a moment that he's in offside position, but he's timing the run perfectly. There's no offside, and Guirassy too. And I think it's Pascal Gross to chip the ball behind. No touch from Guirassy, perfect timed run. And of course, Julian Brandt.
El portero yo creo que se
look
quedó
at the first touch,
de pie, estático, pensando que era offside.
It hasn't been the prettiest game of football at the Millantor, but that is a pretty goal from Julian Brandt. And now breathing room.
Se ahuevoneó un poquito ahí.
In black and yellow.
Guirassy.
Adam Zigara was the player that lost out in the air against Siri Guirassy for the opening goal. He was the one that was a step too deep to play the offside trap, and Dortmund made it count.
La figura del partido.
And the fun factor, sorry to mention it, style of Pauli, long ball behind the defense, and this time it's Dortmund to score a goal like this.
That's it, an effort right out of the St. Pauli playbook tonight. You're not wrong, Stefan.
Yeah.
Things might get a little bit worse here for the home side as well. But considering where we stood on the hour mark, 1-1, perfectly poised, do we give credit for Dortmund, the 2 goals scored in relatively quick succession, that have really changed the complexion of this game, Stefan?
Yeah, perfect moment, of course, to come back in the game, because so long as possible to keep the 1-1 for the home side, and then came that deflected shot from Anton. And we spoke about the moments when you 2-1 up, that you can create the 3rd goal with a long ball, perfect timed from Pascal Gross.
Well, that's it. We were talking earlier about the fact that Niko Kovac's half-time substitutions, Mecha and Brandt brought on, weren't really making the desired impact, but Mecha gets the assist for the 2nd goal. Brandt scores the 3rd himself. We jump to perhaps early conclusions there.
Definitely, and we can see the changes now. I think now that will increase the risk. Of course, Švigala came in for Nemeth. Can't play the game today, injured. And of course, a little bit unlucky. It was a moment too late when Guirassy scored the 1st goal.
I think it's fair to say, if you talk to some of the St. Pauli fans before this game, they were very concerned about the absence of David Nemeth, the Austrian centre-back, because no one really expected him to step into the role last season, but he was a key player in that incredible defensive record for St. Pauli, the 2nd best in the Bundesliga behind the champions only, Bayern München. But his absence has certainly been felt here this evening at the Millantor. And Zigala is brought off to be replaced by the Australian Connor Metcalf. The other change saw Manolis Saliakis come on for the summer signing, Arkadiusz Pikra. Truth be told, we didn't see much of him from that right-back role. Alexander Blessin.
Yeah, he pressed before the equalizer, won the ball. And of course, when you play for St. Pauli and you're a fullback, you have to defend first in the back 5. And then you drop really deep many times. So it's a long way to go forward for both fullbacks, for Oppi and Pürker.
Oppie a big step up, skipping the second tier of German football, leaping straight from the third tier to the Bundesliga. A lot to ask of the left back for Pirker. The first of many appearances in the Bundesliga. Here is Oppie. I have to say, Joel Fujita has been so tidy in midfield for St. Pauli, constantly offering a pivot spot for the play to go through. Now a poor pass, and Girassi is onto it in a flash, looking to turn the corner and uses pace.
Girassi!
He looked to be unselfish. In the end, an important block from Haukeval.
Exactly. He's looking for front. Good run from Girassi.
Se está desarmando el St. Pauli.
Moments like this now. Unlucky.
On with the corner. Benzabaini with his head to the ball, but no threat posed. Nice ball round the corner for Cisse. He's got the pace to get there. The ball had gone of the field of play. Julian Brandt ended last season in red-hot form, just like Seydou Girassi, and he's picked up where he left off, Stefan.
Yeah, and of course, he is the most important player at the moment in Dortmund. Makes the difference, can score from nothing. And if you think about the first half, it's an even game, and then comes Girassi to win the header, and you are 1-0 up. That's what you need to be top 4 again in Germany.
Alexander Blessin and St. Pauli relearning the lesson that they learned at times last season, where in the Bundesliga sometimes quality rises above, and that's what Dortmund have done. St. Pauli have made it challenging from start to finish from the first whistle, but Dortmund have risen above that challenge. Will this be one of the performances that's highlighted at the end of the season as amongst the best? Unlikely. But if it delivers 3 points and a winning start to the new season, job done for Niko Kovac and co. Oppie does well to win out against Sabitzer. Fujita finding Val. He played from the home side and a chance at the end of it. And the follow-on effort saved by Korbel. Bit of a bolt from the blue there from the home side.
Again, good football. Good cross. Double chance to come back in the game. Korbel in a really good position. 2 saves.
Yeah, really sharp keeping there for Korbel at his near post, denying Sinani with the snapshot. Didn't look like much would come of that chance for St. Pauli, but they made a lot out of it. And a goal here from this corner could make things interesting in the closing stages of this first Saturday evening showdown of the 25-26 Bundesliga season. I think what they're checking here is whether there was a foul on Cisse, the St. Pauli striker. He did ask the questions of Dr. Matthias Jüllenbeck. Was he denied the chance at a goal-scoring opportunity there? We've already had one penalty conceded tonight. Eric Smith, the man on the right of your screen, fouling Karim Adeyemi in the first half. The penalty missed by Zeru Girassi.
My first view, was it enough for a penalty?
Well, Dr. Matthias Jöllenbeck is going to take another look, Stefan.
Yeah, I need another look too, because when balls are coming into the box, you always have 1 against 1.
No entiendo qué es lo que van a ver.
And there was 2 times the striker.
Una posible falta de
let's have a look.
¿De quién?
Yeah, there is a holding from Mane in that moment. Look.
Hay un agarre, pero él logra hacer el.
I think perhaps crucially,
él logra hacer el tiro.
2 hands, Stefan, which is part of the new guidelines that referees have been given this season.
It's a possible penalty.
So no es penal.
News from the referees. He's using both hands. Here you can see it.
Es wurde ein möglicher Strafstoß überprüft.
There was a check for a possible penalty.
Lag ein klares Halten vor.
And there was a clear holding.
Strafstoß und rote Karte.
In the box and a red card for Felipe Mane on his Bundesliga debut.
Mane nos puede costar 2 goles
in the
hoy.
air for St. Pauli's first goal. And he hasn't exactly covered himself in glory here. Big decision in this game, Stefan, late on at the Milan Tour.
Y tarjeta roja para Mane. Bello, papá, te estás entrenando bello. Bello, te estás entrenando. Bello, 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 bello. Como Pauleta convocada.
100% goal scoring opportunity, and the ball came back from Kobel for the striker. So, it's still hard for me, but it's an understandable decision. What do you think, James?
I think by the letter of the law, Felipe Mane got a little too handsy with Cisse there, and this really does potentially change the complexion of the game again on a night that it's already gone back and forth a couple of times.
Va a patear el
Daniel Sinani
Pauli
against Gregor Kobel.
A la 1, a la 2.
Sinani scores. There's a goal in it at the Milan Tour.
Mane nos ha costado 2 goles hoy y que de momento el juego esté por la mínima y con uno menos. ¿Ah?
We've had so many defining moments in this match.
Yes.
This now the latest.
Coño, ¿por qué tenían que agarrar esa canción que es tan buena, vale? ¿Por qué tenían que agarrar canción número 2 que es tan buena, chico?
The Milan Tour have something to celebrate again.
Intro legendario de FIFA Road to the World Cup 98. Legendario.
St. Pauli have struck twice. Meanwhile, the second best defense from the previous campaign have conceded 3 times here today. But that is what match day 1 is all about, Stefan. Sometimes you can throw the pre-season expectations out of the window a little bit, because match day 1 sometimes makes its own rules.
Exactly. And of course, what a moment for St. Pauli to come back in the game late, 3-1 down. Then normally, don't say never, never, but 2 goals. And now they have 5, 6, maybe 10 minutes to score the 3rd one and take a point. And against 10 Borussia Dortmund players, I'm sure that will create minimum 1 opportunity.
And then the question is, do they have the clinical touch that was bereft for so much of last season? Have had a change as well for St. Pauli. Oladipo Afolayan coming on. Reminder as well, you can have your say in the man of the match, and plenty of candidates here tonight. There might still be some heroics left in this game. Scan the QR code at the top of your screen. Have your say. Voting now open. ask you for a clear candidate from your perspective, Stefan, but we've got an attacking throw in here for St. Pauli. It's worth taking in.
Yeah. If Borussia Dortmund are winning, I still believe Guirassy makes the difference for the first goal, but is not finished yet.
Guirassy missing the defensive header there, but fortunately for him and Dortmund, it comes to nothing for St. Pauli. They've got the bit between their teeth. They've got the fans really behind them. Belief so strong. The host firmly on the front foot here. Eric Smith. Eric Smith!
Oh. No, lo que faltaba.
The captain comes up with a huge moment for St. Pauli.
Lo que faltaba. Gracias, Mané. Gracias, Mané. Gracias. Gracias, Mané.
From 3-1 down, they've leveled the scores at 3-3. A side that only scored 28 times in 34 match days last season have found the back of the net 3 times on match day 1. A spectacular start to the new season.
And this time very good football, passing the ball, brings Smith in a position from a long range, and of course that's fantastic finish. And this goal a little bit too far to the left side, but a really good finish. And St. Pauli back in the game.
6 goals, that is the pick of the lot. Off balance, drills it into the far corner. Corbel at full stretch, can't get there. A captain's moment for Eric Smith. A 6-goal thriller in the first Saturday evening showdown of the new season. And I'm not sure we could have anticipated this at half-time.
Exactly, 6 goals, unbelievable. And from the Dortmund point, of course, coming down to that penalty or that decision for Mané, red card.
And we are hearing that there is going to be 10 minutes of time added on at the end of what has already been a pulsating 90 here at the Millantor. It's time for Borussia Dortmund to batten down the hatches. But St. Pauli have the wind in their sails. Oppi went for the spectacular. Well, the Millantor always delivers a spectacular atmosphere. We asked at the beginning of the game whether we'd have a spectacular story to tell at the end of it, and I think we're going to.
No question, and I'm looking tactically. I think it's Salih Özcan, number 6, is playing as a centre-half position like Mané did.
Well, if the pre-season predictions were anything to go by, this was relegation candidates against title challengers. Hasn't quite played out that way. But we knew this was a prospect to relish on match day 1, and it has proven as such, even if it took a while to warm up. Two cult clubs with passionate fan bases. Two sides that really speak to football's soul. And from a neutral perspective, this is an encounter that has really warmed the soul.
Yeah, now St. Pauli can win the game because they will have lots of possession. And that's the strength, then you can cross the ball, you have lots of players in the box, and then you can go for the second ball.
Saliakis sees his cross. Failed to find a teammate, but he picks up the piece as well. And it's dangerous. Cisse was unmarked, but Corbel to the ball first. Guirassy battling away. We have seen so little from him in the second half. So Guirassy, and that's a testament to St. Pauli's performance, as Sabitzer will be the latest to pick up a yellow card.
And
Llegó a
now
destiempo.
that's my man of the match if it stays 3-3. Sinani, St. Pauli are back, and he was always the player, can create something, always available, and has the skill to play someone in before the equalizer. So overall, what a comeback from St. Pauli.
Long ball. Oh, not really dealt with there by Dortmund. But a swing and a miss in the St. Pauli ranks. There is another chance brewing here for the home side. Sinani still pulling the strings. Held his nerve from the penalty spot to spark the comeback for St. Pauli. Daniel Sinani. That comeback completed by that man Eric Smith with an early contender for one of the best and maybe most important goals we'll see this season. It's only match day one. But it is fascinating, Stefan, how Alexander Blessin's side have really blown the pre-season narrative out of the water. It was all about their goal-scoring issues. They've got 3 tonight against Borussia Dortmund.
Unbelievable. And you have to be positive in that point. They never gave up. They're always trying 1-3 down against Borussia Dortmund. And everyone thinks, oh, it's done. But not against that mentality from St. Pauli. And of course, a moment that Mané will forget in his life, I'm sure. That contact before the penalty and the red card for him.
Yeah, so solid on his Dortmund debut in the DFB Pokal.
Yes.
A few moments to forget here tonight that have, right now, as things stand, proven costly for Dortmund. And that cost might get a little steeper as well. Cisse trying to G up the crowd. But I think he was penalised for the contact there with Valdemar Anton. The 2 men on the hot seat, experiencing very different emotions there on the sidelines, Niko Kovac and Alexander Blessin. Right now, a draw that for Dortmund will feel more like a loss. For St. Pauli, it'll almost feel like the taste of victory.
I agree, and what a comeback. We still have 4 minutes to play. The CEOs, Lars Ricken and Matthias Sammer, I'm sure they're not happy, but they're looking to the watch now. They know they can lose the game now.
With the man advantage, one-way traffic in St. Pauli's favour. Now, can they convert it into something tangible? Cisse! That would have been the pick of the goals.
And what an impact he has. Involved before the penalty. 2 chances, good movement.
Between the play from the substitute Cisse, and then you look at the performances from Pereira Lage and Ontonji, both making their Bundesliga debuts, and no shortage of confidence from these St. Pauli strikers.
And that's, of course, good for the season for St. Pauli, that they know they have Afolayan or Cisse on the bench, or they can start maybe next game Montunji. good runs behind the defense, strong physically, can keep the ball up front. For that style of football, you need fresh strikers.
Brandt wins out in the air. Girassi can't make it stick though.
Ay, señores, se nos cayó. Se nos cayó la señal. Increíble. Se nos cayó la señal. Bueno, vamos a ver lo que está pasando ahí. Ya lo vemos por lo que tenemos acá en los gráficos. Ok, esperando este minuto ya. Ya queda poco, ya quedan segundos de este segundo tiempo. El San Pauli con el balón, evidentemente. Yo creo que ellos juegan más al empate, aunque están con el ánimo arriba después de haber sacado el partido de 2 goles abajo, empatarlo. Bien, tenemos un offside del Saint Pauli. Yo creo que esta va a ser la última. Debería, por supuesto, sacar los negriamarillos. Vamos a ver quién se encarga de dar el saque hacia arriba. Me imagino que será un pelotazo. Ok, recuperamos la señal.
Game on match day 1 away from home against Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Efectivamente, Skobel, pelotazo.
A 6-goal thriller in the first Saturday evening showdown of the 25-26 Bundesliga season. What a way to kick off the campaign. A melting pot of emotions at the Millantor. But after a sending off to Filippo Mane, St. Pauli make the man advantage count as they come from 3-1 down to snatch a share of the spoils in a 3-all draw that was a thriller from start to finish. Well, Mr. Steffen Freund, I think we had high expectations for what was a highlight match on the opening weekend of the Bundesliga. 1-0 up at halftime, Borussia Dortmund. I thought it was going to be a hard.
Bien, algunas consideraciones rápidas. Esto es lo mismo del Mundial de Clubes. Lo mismo, claro, con un esquema totalmente distinto. No lo entendí. Donde estás colocando a 5 mediocampos, pero no estoy entendiendo qué es lo que quiere hacer Niko Kovac con este planteo. Para mí salió mal. Un equipo, el Saint Pauli, vamos a buscarlo. Un equipo que quiero buscar. Ok, aquí estoy. Quiero buscar dónde quedó el Saint Pauli la temporada pasada. Un equipo que quedó de 14avo la temporada pasada y nos saca un empate. De hecho, es el primer empate de la temporada, como pueden ver. Mire, no sé. Claro, el man of the match, el hombre del partido fue Julian Brandt, con 29% de los votos. Tengan en cuenta que esto lo votan los fanáticos. No podemos decir que empezamos mal, porque por lo menos nos estamos llevando un punto de la casa del Saint Pauli, pero era un partido que se estaba ganando por 2-0. A ver, evidentemente no me gusta lo que vi. El Saint Pauli la peleó hasta el final. Ahí pueden ver cómo quedó lo que fue la amenaza ofensiva y la posesión. Terminó teniendo el Saint Pauli más posesión, sobre todo en este segundo tiempo. Una vez más, no se conecta lo que es la defensa con la línea ofensiva. Las líneas muy juntas y muy arriba en oportunidades. Gracias a Dios que tipos del Saint Pauli como que no saben jugar al contraataque, porque si no nos hubiesen hecho más daño. Bueno, ni modo. Estamos así, de momento. Vamos rápidamente a ver cómo quedó la clasificación. Para los efectos estamos fuera de torneos internacionales, pero es solo el inicio. ¿Okay? Hoy marcó Guirassy, marcó Anton y marcó Brandt. ¿Okay? Y bueno, la tarjeta roja por Mané. No te extrañaremos el próximo partido, Mané. Próximo partido que va a ser en casa contra el Union Berlin el 31 de agosto. Eso cae día sábado, no domingo. El domingo 31 de agosto a las 11:30. Trataremos de cumplir esta temporada. Vamos a ver si cumplimos, por favor, todo lo que va a ser la temporada, por lo menos lo de la Bundesliga. Podemos ver también las estadísticas donde el mejor puntuado fue Guirassy y Anton con 7,7 por sus respectivos goles. A ver, me gustaría ver. Ok. Fíjense, el jugador del partido para FOMOB fue Daniel Ciani, que sería justo, por supuesto. Y atrás quedaron Guirassy, Brandt y Anton, por supuesto, porque tienen los 3 goles. Savitzer, que dio asistencia. Homutondi, que marcó. Creo que es justo eso, y creo que es justo que Daniel Ciani sea el jugador del partido, porque una vez más están en casa, no debieron haber sacado un empate estando en casa, sino ganar, pero tengan en cuenta que estaban perdiendo el partido por 2, y Saint Pauli es un equipo sin la relevancia de el Borussia Dortmund. Entonces vamos a dejar la transmisión hasta acá de momento. Si mi partner se une, sacaremos algo un poquito más tarde o en los sucesivos días, a más tardar mañana, y nos vemos el 31 de agosto a las 11:30 hora de Venezuela. Hey, Abifabi.